Welcome to the Shortwave Radio channel and in our series where we take a look at what there is to listen to on different parts of the shortwave spectrum. We are looking at what is there to listen to between 13 and 14 megahertz. So this is a interesting part of the spectrum. It often is populated with all sorts of signals. The first part of the band of 13 megahertz, a lot of it has to do with maritime broadcasts. So you might hear 13089, for example, with some marine weather forecasts. There's also Gander weather volume on 13270. There's aeronautical stuff around there. So 13306, for example, is one of the frequencies where I hear a lot of transatlantic broadcasts of air traffic control, 13306. So it's one of those bands. There's military stuff. 13200 is often one of the frequencies for EAMs. So here, for example, you hear aeronautical stuff. So it's not very strong, but it's there. There are some stuff to listen to in there, that's for sure. So these are all things that you can check out, as there's a lot of different types of broadcast in here coming out of maritime or marine, aeronautical, and all sorts of other utilities that might pop up. For some reason, it's one of the bands also, that part of the bands that is very popular for number stations of all sorts. I've heard so many number stations, maybe more here than almost in any other range of shortwave spectrum. It seems to be one of the choices for number stations. If we go above 13500, then we fall into one of the frequencies that is often noted, 13560. A lot of people hear stuff on 13560 and wonder what there is, beeps of all sorts, and you know, I hear stuff in here that you can listen to. 13560 is actually a frequency that is set aside for scientific purposes. So all sorts of stuff can happen there. All sorts of types of signals, weird signals in telemetry and instrumentations could be around here. Above this frequency range, up to about 13900, let's say, is the 22 meter band international broadcast band. It's used quite a lot. A lot of broadcasters do use this band, so you can listen into some of the broadcasts from there. So you see here, there's a few signals, not very strong right now, but there's a few signals that are actually coming in. One of the strongest is 13845 WWCR. And on the last part of the range, 13850, 13 to 14,000, you might hear other types of utilities. I've heard Mars nets, military auxiliary radio system nets. I've heard some civil air patrol stuff. I've heard all sorts of weird communications of all kinds. It's worth it to check out the range and see what's in here, because you might be surprised at all the communications. And it's one of the ranges I take a peek at very, very regularly, because not only because of the broadcast band, but also because of a lot of interesting and unusual utility stations can pop up in there, and it's worth it to actually take a listen to it. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and hope you enjoyed the videos.